Y'all see the title of the video, so let's do it. Starting out, we are using a 8x10 cloth canvas. I've already sketched out my image with the soft lead 4B pencil. And now I'm just tracing over it with the black POSCA acrylic paint marker. Hey, who remembers their coloring book days? Well, that's all we're doing today. We're just going to use these acrylic paint-based POSCA pens. We're going to keep this super simple today. I'm not going to be blending any colors, trying to show you any kind of contrast, any kind of shading in the different color variations or any kind of gradient in color. And I got another treat for the Ghost family, all right? I appreciate you guys coming to spend some time with me. Let me show you what it is I do and how I do it, and hopefully you can learn something from it. But I got another story for you. I'm gonna tell y'all about my first little girlfriend, okay? My little puppy love when I was a little young dude. And also, if you're a parent, I want to encourage you to, if you see your child that's interested in the arts, you know, whatever it is they do, whether it's drawing, painting, digital art, whatever it is, and they're just doing it on their own, please encourage them. I want to please encourage you to encourage them, because you never know where it may lead to. Listen, they may not turn out to be the next world famous artist. That doesn't matter. When you're doing something like, for instance, me rapping or writing raps when I was, younger, it dramatically improves your reading skills, your comprehension skills, your writing skills. So it sharpens other skills. So regardless of where it turns out, like this right here, I got to this point by just repetitively doing those things over and over again. So the freedom that you have with a pencil or a pen or a paintbrush, or now an iPad like the digital art, the freedom, like there is a lot of freedom that comes with it. To sit back and look at something that you've created, it gives you a feeling of self-accomplishment. You don't have to wait for a trophy from somebody else or some kind of reward from somebody else. When you create your own and you can sit back and look at what you created, you don't have to wait for validation from anybody. Because you can say, I did that. And hopefully you got family members, like a loving mother or father, that'll encourage you. And even if it don't look that good, if they keep encouraging you and you keep doing it, it's gonna get better. Trust me. Now we just want to use our kneaded eraser to clean it up a little bit. Get some of those black pencil lines and marks out of the canvas. Now a little bit about my reference photo. I chose this particular reference because it highlights the darker Native American heritage that are often overlooked. Very, very beautiful people. As a matter of fact, if you can remember my first video, my mother-in-law, that's what she identifies as, a Native American. out of the Carolinas. They're not Africans, but we won't get into that. It's kind of controversial. We're going to stick to art right now. Okay, real quick, this is the book I was telling you about. This is a pen and ink drawing workbook by Alfonso Don, and it encourages you to practice line weight. Now, there are a lot of different exercises in the book. It helps you kind of get used to seeing what the lines, the outcome of what your lines will be, and it helps you practice, like, as far as your controlling your lines as well. So you can find him online. He has YouTube channels and things like that, but I ordered this book. It's been a good resource for me. So there you go. If you continue to watch my videos, I want to see your progress. And I'm going to hold you accountable also, because your work should look far better than mine. I kind of get in tune with my art kind of late in life, even though I've always done it as a kid. So my expectations of you are going to be very, very high. I'm going to be your #1 cheerleader if I see you want to do it. If I see you are interested, you're focused, you're determined, you're willing to keep going. Yep, just keep on going. Let anything stop you. Even if something slows you down, just don't let it stop you. You can share your art with me at POPPA_GHOS on Instagram. I look forward to hearing from you. Okay, so let's bring it back to art a little bit. If you notice the image that I chose, you'll see, I want you to look at her body posture. Look at how her head is tilted forward. Look at how her body is slightly leaning back. Look at how her arms are folded. Her arms are kind of crossed. So it gives you the impression of someone who is guarded. She has something to protect. Her eyes are focused. She's watching who's watching her. Of her surroundings and of her space. Look at her face. And she's waiting for something. She's very selective. She understands her value. Early. She's waiting to be led by a young man who's going to appreciate her beauty, her time, her talents, her generosity, what she has to offer. See, this is where I love y'all. I really love y'all, because y'all hang out with me. Y'all listen to my little stories. Y'all watch me do my thing. Y'all watch me draw. And I appreciate that, because I know your time is valuable. And you should know that your time is valuable. Don't waste your time with anybody or anything that's not being productive, okay? So, without further ado, we are going to get into this story. Man, y'all know how I love to tell stories. So I'm gonna tell y'all about my first girlfriend. Her name was Erica. So let me paint the picture first of what she looked like physically. She was taller than I was. Now keep in mind I'm only 13 or 14 years old, so I didn't really grow until about, 16, something like that. So I wasn't really that tall. So she was taller than I was. And the way I met her was through my family. Her dad grew up with my mother. Her father's name was Wendell Ray. So I remember a bunch of us being at different parks around the city, playing games like football and kickball and softball and things like that. So we were very, very, very active people. We didn't even look at each other like that. But I guess you know how it is when you going through puberty and your hormones start kicking in or whatever. But now, again, let me finish describing her. Now, she was a dark brown skinned young lady. And like I said, she was beautiful. Big, pretty lips, soft, round eyes, just like I like them. And at that age, I was beginning to look at female body types, all right? And I'm talking about she had them curves on her too, man. She was stacked up. She ain't looking like no little play buddy no more. She looking good, man. She looking good, man. She looking delicious, man. She's starting to look delicious to me. Now I'm young, man. I don't know nothing about what I'm looking at or what to look for, right? And now the reason why, like I said, her other sister, I liked her other sister initially more was because of her personality. It wasn't so much what she looked like. Like I said, again, they were both beautiful. Kim was light skinned. She was smaller. She had a smaller frame. And, she was pigeon-toed. I guess that's what I don't know what I was liking at first or whatever. But when I got to talking to Eric on the phone, we would just talk for hours and hours and hours. Hey, what's up? I can't lie about it. I was falling asleep on it and everything. Yeah. And I think what it really was, if I can be totally honest, Kim was very feminine. At that stage in her life, she acted like the little girls I was used to being around. Very, very feminine, soft, kind of like my wife is now. Real pretty and soft and feminine. She's the total opposite of what I was, so I like that. Whereas I think Erica was more tomboyish, like my mama. You know what I'm saying? Like my mother grew up in a rough, kind of rough neighborhood, so she had to be kind of tough. And so that's how Erica was. Erica was more like her father, very, very outgoing, very, very athletic, very, very just real masculine with the energy. I was never into that. I like my girl soft, pretty, long hair, pretty nails, take care of themselves like a woman. That's what I like. Before you get too hard on me, you gotta understand, my mama's a pretty woman. All my aunties were pretty women. And my Aunt Rosine, may she rest in power, and my great aunt, they was always smelling good, hair looking pretty. That's just what I came from. keep in mind, as we began to grow older, girls grow up a lot faster than boys, or they comprehend things, they understand things, they pay attention to things, details, things like that, a lot more than boys do. So even though we were around the same age, she was older than me. She was much older than me, and I couldn't understand that. Like that was strange to me. Like, how is it that you're not on the same page I'm on? You know, we talked, and when we talked about everything. We talked about what kids talk about, okay? But she had been seeing things that I hadn't seen yet. Now, and trust me, this is not to condemn anybody, because, hey, I went on to become wild as hell. All right, I went through my little wild as hell stage too. It was later, but I eventually went through it. The most interesting thing about us being a couple was the things we had in common. We had a lot in common based on our background. We had a lot in common, but I don't know. I began to feel too small, I think, with her. I began to feel too small and inadequate. I felt like I just wasn't on her level. She was growing, she began to mature so much faster than me. And I couldn't understand it. Like certain things that she could understand, she was very, very intelligent, very bright. And certain things that she could understand, I couldn't understand. And so I began to feel, for lack of a better word, ashamed. I felt ashamed. I felt like, you know, what am I doing with this girl? What I can't do nothing with this girl. Like, what can I do with her? Nothing. So when I got to the point to where I'm trying to break up with her, here come the feeling. She crying and I love you so much and so and so and so and so and so. And this is my first time ever experiencing something like this. I wasn't the type to just get with no female and then try to use her for something in particular and then go on to the next one. I wasn't like that. But for those who tried me, for those who thought I was too slow, they got it after the fact. They got, well, no, he's not really that slow. Yeah, I'm not really that slow. Me, I wasn't given an inch though. You know, when I was young. Now, I moved on to another long-term. My next relationship was a long-term relationship that with the young lady who I thought I would marry. I'll tell y'all that story later. But back to Erica. Now, when me and Erica would talk on the phone, she would always tell me about some of the things she wanted to experience, some of the things she wanted to do. But I never heard her actually say what she wanted to be. And I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life, but I knew I wanted to do something. And some of the things that I was seeing her being attracted to, I knew I could never do what I wanted to do going that way. And so, and at that time, I wasn't, like I said, she was a lot more intelligent than I was. When it came down to trying to argue a point, ain't no way I'm getting that. You know, she got it. You know what I'm saying? She's like talking to a grown woman at times. So because of her influences, you know, she had been around mature women that had gave her that game. And I didn't have it. And so I couldn't argue with her about nothing. I'm gonna argue with her about, like, she don't get it every time. And what I got to say? Nothing. And because I wasn't a feeble need little dude, like I wasn't just gonna bow down and just follow no female around. Like, okay, I'm gonna do what you say do. I wasn't never like that. Even if I didn't have the answer, I couldn't figure out why I didn't want to go that way. I ain't going that way until I figure this out. Like, I got to figure out if that's where I should go. And she was trying to pull me in certain directions. And I don't even think she was aware of it, so I'm not blaming her at all for it. But things like smoking cigarettes and stuff like that has never been my thing, man. Like, especially at a young age. Like, I thought stuff like that. When you grow up around relatives who develop like bad habits and things like that, then you're gonna do one or two things. You're either going to mimic those bad habits, or you're going to totally reject them. I should have been able to, I guess, to sit down and talk with her pops, you know, who I call my uncle, Wendell Ray. I should have been able to sit down and talk with him, and because you don't do that, man. You don't take somebody's heart and then not finish what you started. Now, as a man, I understand that now, but in hindsight, you know, I just couldn't handle it though. Like I just couldn't do it. It's best when the parents are involved and families know each other. Because you need that guidance. We need that guidance when you're young. Now, today it's wild. Everybody's doing everything, especially with social media. You know, there's some everything going on. But remember, I grew up in a simpler time. I grew up in a very, very simple time. Okay. I also want to shout out to the young ladies like Erica, who I always loved. That was my first love, my first little love. I'll always love her because she loved me for who I was. At that time, we didn't have nothing. So my mother depended on the government. And my mother worked, but she depended on the government in certain areas. Things like glasses, I had to wear government glasses. So I had these big, thick frame glasses, big, thick lens glasses with these government frames. And she didn't care. She loved my little black behind for who I was. Now that I understand from an adult perspective, you know, it's an honorable thing when, you know, a young man decides, you know, I want to be a husband one day. I'm gonna be a husband one day. Like, I want a wife. You know, that's an honorable thing. Unfortunately, I didn't understand that part. I didn't understand. But I thought, you know, I tried to jump off the porch. I thought I was a little bulldog. I thought I was ready. I was ready to, you know, get me some of that, you know, what was out here, some of that action. I was ready for me a woman. You know, I wanted to start being a man anyway. I thought I did anyway. I was ready to start being a man, man. Like, so what y'all think? Y'all think I was ready to jump off the porch with Erica, with my little girlfriend, or what? Was I too young? Was I just smelling myself like the old folks say? What was going on, man? Drop me some lines in the comments. Let's talk about it on the Ghost Cast. And if you're a part of the Ghost family, if you've been a part of the Ghost family for any length of time, you know me, you know how I get down. I love that Bible. I love reading history. Just like anything else you do, becoming an artist or whatever your vocation is in life, you have to study, you have to apply yourself, and you have to seek out instructors and things like that are going to guide you the right way. other than that, man, wasn't this so fun? Ain't this fun? Who can seriously say, who can honestly say that this is not fun? This is not something that you enjoy just watching, let alone doing. I enjoy watching people draw and paint, do decorative things with material, the different material that they have around them. I enjoy watching them, let alone doing it. I don't know, it just does something for my spirit. It lifts my spirit up. Alright, for all my grown folks, it's about that time. Now before we get out of here, we gotta pay some bills, so y'all please go online and support this merchandise. If you see something that you like, we really would appreciate it. Looks like we've come to the end of another one. I really appreciate y'all being here with me. Links to the video will be in the description below. All the information if you want to support and things like that. And I hope y'all learned something from it. So until next time, take care.